About a month ago, I embarked on an adventure to the Freeside Co-op to buy groceries and ended up going undercover for the NCR to investigate a gang that's been harassing their men and citizens. What started as a simple robbery investigation led to lectures by an old man arguing for a dead ideology, a new way to rule Vegas independently of California, House, and Arizona. I was now ready for what I uncovered in the race to the bottom.
Voice module online. Audio functionality test initialized. Designation, Liberty Prime. Designation, Liberty Prime. Mission, the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska.
First things first, Race to the Bottom was developed by Sig95, who also made the deterrent, and uploaded the mod on August 4th, 2022, and last updated it on the 21st of that month. The mod's description is thus: 1.5 to 2 hours of gameplay, multiple ways to solve quests, a new sub-faction, voiced characters, dungeons to explore, a heavy roleplay window for players, and the chance to complete the quest with clean hands. The basis is such. Race to the Bottom is a medium-sized quest mod around the same size as the Automatron DLC from Fallout 4. The Freeside Co-op has been robbed by an unknown assailant, and Ella Hawthorne is in need of a mercenary to track down the culprits. The journey will offer you multiple ways to solve each problem, with an emphasis on role-playing. I've tried to match Obsidian's design philosophy the best I can. Featuring 1,000 plus fully voiced lines of dialogue, roleplay to your heart's content. I'd like to thank the wonderful voice actors who collaborated with me on their hard work. With the deterrent under their belt, there's a great expectation of quality for what lies below. If you are not aware, the deterrent was their breakout mod back in July of 2013 and was last updated in 2022. Now that is commitment to the work. It's time to start digging to uncover the mystery behind the robbery of the Freeside Co-op in our
Primary targets: any and all red Chinese invaders. Emergency Communist Acquisition Directive. Immediate self-destruct. Better dead than red.
After Connor ate our entire fridge, I had to go shopping for more MREs when I heard a new store had opened up. Taking Hope with me, we headed on over to annoy the front guard Roy, then actually go inside to talk to Ella Hawthorne. The daughter of an NCR Brahmin baron, Ella set up the shop to expand their business to New Vegas when she was robbed by a gang led by an older man. She hired a merc before us named Frank, so we track him down by talking to his drunk friend, then going to the drug dealer who gave him a room at his hotel, then sold him out. After learning the location where the gang went, I killed the drug dealer because winners don't use drugs, and went to the steel factory to find a holotape. I'm confronted by some gang members who I showed the Kane special before returning to Ella with what we found. The leader of the gang, called the Vultures, is Hosea, a former follower of the Apocalypse, and we learn this from the Raiders' therapist at the old Mormon fort, where we're sent to next, who confides in us that he's on an anti-NCR crusade for a better New Vegas by killing anyone who supports the NCR, stealing their caravans, and trying to cripple them so they can take over post-Dam. The therapist sets us up with an appointment with Hosea when I point out that they're making another Edward Swallow. Going back to Ella, and she's dead. Roy too. The Vultures stole the food and left a note detailing that anyone who supports capitalist NCR is the problem, and they need to start over. Tear out the roots. If this sounds familiar at all to real-world movements, especially in Sam's country, then like me, you're recognizing the Vultures' beliefs are dangerous. Sadly, I didn't have this machine with me when I went on to confront Hosea after the NCR hired me to go undercover. Like Liberty Prime, I like to turn any and every communist to ashes. That and people who focus on the bad of historical figures whose good outweighs it in the end. Actions speak louder, people change, and rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. I'm sorry for the slander at the very end, on the very day of your death, because decency is phantasmal. Side tangent over, we meet Hosea and fall asleep listening to the literal arguments for a commie USA, including not having a plan to handle the logistics once they do take control. Hosea is a man who read a book, looked out the window, went to Twitter, and unironically plays the USSR anthem instead of Amazing Grace. Much like the current world, you have to fall in line with his ideas or you're the enemy. Armed with a great leap forward, he declares war on the NCR and we continue our cover and help him. We're sent to meet Frank, who's been guilt-tripped, groomed, and has Stockholm Syndrome, and has joined the vultures. We get fake intel from Ranger Wilson to throw them off and delve into their hideout steps to find a bunker and ghouls guarding a vault. Vault 23, Hosea's hopeful army or Ho Chi Minh Trail if things don't go right, and the dwellers need to be displaced, and the vultures placed so they can fend off the NCR guerrilla style. We report to Hosea and Wilson, who will mobilize the Rangers, while we investigate the vault. Going inside, we find no bodies, but security helmets, keycards, and logs that detail the personal vault of a company's CEO and his staff. The employees work to produce the food and maintain the systems, while robots hold security and the CEO overseer. Progressing deeper, there appears to have been a revolt that led to the deaths of everyone inside. Reading more terminals reveals that there were heavy rationing and a martyr. They weren't producing enough to sustain everyone, so they had to limit their supply. There's themes reflecting past revolutions of the old world, a martyr or leader who leads a union against the man, and unnecessary deaths because of it all. Reading between the lines and all the red flags of Hosea's same ideology, I return back once I'm done to find Hosea shitting his pants and sending me to deal with Ranger Wilson.
Wilson.
You son of a bitch.
Well, this is how I handled the rest of the situation.
Shit. Yeah, I got a promise to keep. Yeah, you think I've forgotten, bitch? Oh, I see you, Hosea. I see you. I see you with the 22. Yeah. Good luck now, bitch. Oh, don't think you can run. No, it's mine. Yeah! That's Morella. Whoa, careful. There's more of them. Plus they hiding down here. You guys are hiding. Oh, look what happened. Exactly what I told you. Hey, Doc. Slipper, bitch. Shit, is there another one?
Wilson thanks us and sends us off to meet Mr. Hawthorne, whose reward I turned down because killing commies is my favorite hobby. Now this is how I handled the quest. I didn't have to kill the vultures. Everyone could have walked away, but I chose this. I can replay this and it won't be the same. I like that design philosophy. It's why I don't replay Fallout 4, because all roads lead to Babylon. Back to Race to the Bottom, I feel like I need to talk about the
Freedom is the sparrow right of every American.
Hosea is the main antagonist of Race to the Bottom, the leader of the Vultures, once a follower of the Apocalypse and 70-year-old communist ideologist. He's leading a guerrilla war against the NCR and can survive the mod if you side with the moron.
Trust me,
If
if
he
they were
saw the
involved,
story of
I'd
Vault
know about
23,
it.
he'd realize how stupid his Twitter rhetoric is. Yes, he learned that when I blasted his brains out with Ella's shotgun.
So, you believe that hard work should pay off? I'd say most people who aren't crazy would agree. Let me ask you a question, though. Do you think Jack Hawthorne, who has one business meeting a week, has a difficult job? You might say he has to manage a lot of stress, ensuring the business stays together and has to make risky deals.
That is difficult on its own.
Now, think about the peasant that tends to Hawthorne's crops. What about the stress of their family not getting enough to eat? That and the back-breaking work on a farm is far more difficult than anything Jack has to do. Also, when a big business deal goes wrong, who suffers from his bad performance in the market? Let me give you a clue. It's not Jack. Do you think that's fair for the average worker, who's forced to work a thankless job or else they'll starve?
Didn't the people of the NCR vote for these policies that made the barons rich? I guess we're be full of fools for that to happen. I couldn't care less about the ISR. Yeah, they voted for it, so they get to suffer the consequences of their actions.
They did. But when people aren't even offered a choice to the contrary, did they really? Look at the biggest contributors in the past 3 elections since Tandy's death, and tell me the system still works.
What do you offer?
The same names keep popping up. Gunderson, Hawthorne, Weston. Although, yes, you're correct. The people voted them in.
She sends her regards, dickbag. Load, 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 load. She sends her fucking regards. Frank Adams, Freeside rat turned merc brainwashed by Hosea, guilt-tripping him over killing a woman who was trying to kidnap him. Other than that, he plays little to no importance once you go undercover for the NCR. He unfortunately met his end during the face-off. Ranger Wilson, our handler during the operation to deal with the Vulture threat. No one really of note besides that. She's just a soldier ready to end this thorn in the NCR. The Vulture Gang. A lot of them were brainwashed by Hosea's blank sheet of future plans for an NCR-free Vegas, and some just do not care about his ideas at all. I had no second thought nor care when I put them 6 feet under. Hell, I'd reload the save just to wipe them out again. Good riddance to their deaths. If they had their way, Vegas would be in anarchy because you can't expect people to work for the good of all. At the end, they need to have some restraints against them. The popular vote or idea is not always the best long-term. Oh, wait, where was I? Oh yeah,
Engaging Chinese invader. Communism is a lie. Initiating Directive 7395. Destroy all communists.
The writing for the mod was clearly not rushed or half-assed. When you ask Hosea why, he doesn't just say that I won't understand, but wholeheartedly explains to the roots. Where and why in long paragraphs like someone actually would if asked to explain themselves. Every character was made to fit with the world with backstories that accurately make them who they are. Even Hosea, the living contradiction, who should know the failures of his beliefs but refuses to believe it as his head is too far gone. The vaults are gotten right. Vault 23 was to see how long it would take for an uprising of the Dwellers against the Overseer. Unlike the Alice in Wasteland mod, the voice acting is what stops this from boring me or having me in need of a respirator. And trust me, when we get to that mod, you'll hear more about that utter madness. As for the endings, I completed mine with all vultures deceased, including Frank, helped Wilson, and refused the reward from Big Hawthorne. It was never about the money, it was about putting several 20-gauge rounds into her killers. Several shells from the Hawthorne shotgun. Now
These radical malcontents don't care about you. They don't care about America. All they care about is fulfilling their own selfish desires.
There are no extra side quests unless you fail skill checks, that is. I did not fail any, so I have no idea what they are, but I don't expect it to be too much. The fight through the vault wasn't too bad unless you have a phobia of protectrons and ants. Though I don't think the ants would have mutated that fast. They should have been the same size as the Fallout 76 ones, at least when the Dwellers encountered them. That's a small thing I noticed. Overall,
You've gotten a lot farther than you should have. But then you haven't met Frank Horrigan either. Your ride's over, Mutie. Time to die.
Race to the Bottom is one of my favorite adventures in Mojave thus far. With well-written characters and quest structure, I can give this model the first ever Nuka-Cola victory. 5 out of 5. Can't wait to see what the mod author creates next. Tune in next time to BlueSkullProductions Radio for another rabbit hole delving... Oh, fuck, why is this? Why do you guys keep doing this to me?
As a hand-picked resident of Vault 76, it is your duty to carefully review your Vault-Tec-provided films yearly to fully prepare for the day when you will emerge.